when did this news of the world hacking thing suddenly become a silly season story? Suddenly everyone's saying, oh, it's a silly season story. But silly season is the bit of the year where there's no news because Parliament is closed. Therefore, the silly season runs from the close of Parliament to the opening of Parliament. And I'm pretty sure I remember at the height of the news of the world scandal, there were parliamentary debates, select committee appearances, and all kinds of stuff that happened in Parliament, and only happen in Parliament when Parliament is open. Therefore, it was whilst Parliament was open and not a silly season story. This is another press tactic to put us off. Dad's got a new car. Apparently it's got a speed limiter on it which will hold the car to 70 miles an hour if that's the number that's programmed into it. Although you can go past that speed limit if you press the accelerator extra hard. Just in case, for instance, you've just blown up the Death Star or something. Well, I don't know whether you spotted this piece of news. It probably depends on whether you've got any friends that are Opera users. If you have, you'll have heard about this one. But there was a report that came out a few days ago claiming that those people that use Internet Explorer are, on average, likely to be complete morons. Those who use Firefox and Google are, on average, likely to be on average. And those who use Opera are, for some reason, likely to be incredibly smart. Now, I actually read a bit of it, and one of the things it actually said was people who use older versions of Internet Explorer are likely to be the dumbest. I'm quite impressed at this because it makes no sense at all. If you've got any reasonably decent modern version of Windows, i.e. Vista or even XP, then you can find it quite hard to use an old version of IE, because IE keeps updating. So, in fact, if you've got an old version of IE and you've managed to keep it old, you must be incredibly smart in terms of computing, which kind of goes against the whole idea of them being the dumbest of the lot. Anyway, that left me rather incredulous about the whole report. Then today we found out that in fact the report was a whole load of bunkum. The company that had been propagating the report seemed to have only been created a few days ago. Certainly their domain name was only registered a few days ago, which is a bit odd for a company working on the internet. Also, on their website, all the pictures of their staff turned out to be pictures of other people's staff, something easily found using the reverse image lookup you can now find on Google. Of course, the press didn't check in this stuff. They're the press, but they don't. Anyway, going on the response to these reports on various social networks, we can at least draw some conclusions. We can draw the following conclusions, in fact, based on people's browsers. People, for instance, that use Opera appear to be credulous, smug suckers. People that use Google and Firefox appear to be a good deal more questioning about such claims, and people that use IE probably never hear about them in the first place. People that use very old versions of IE have way too much time on their hands. I didn't realise you actually could friend people on Last.fm, and I'm still not entirely sure why one would, but I've just had a friend's request from Sheridan. Now it actually says our musical compatibility is low. However, it does list the music that we have in common. Apparently music tastes we have in common are Bauhaus, X-Ray Specs, David Bowie, Susie and the Banshees, and Shakin' Stevens. As promised last episode, we now go to the last of the 3 t-shirts that I've been making for my niece Willow, and we're going to do a sort of time lapse through the making process bit. I've already cut the stencils at this point, and this is basically the airbrushing stage. here we go, the final t-shirt in the set. Final t-shirt in the set is a kitty. Meow. Anyway, so we have that one. We have the wonderful sunset. Yay! And we have the big pink willow thing. Punk willow. I don't know. There we go. Alright, that's quite cute. Anyway. And there we go. The t-shirts are wrapped and handed to my mum for delivery. So, happy birthday, Willow. Why do I always talk like that when I'm talking to children? Big booming voice. Yeah. Probably quite scary. Mind you, so many things that are meant to be for kids are quite scary when you actually think about them. I was thinking of Rudolph the other day, you know, the red-nosed reindeer. And it glows. It's the only light that Santa's got in his sleigh is this hellish red glow. Which must scare the crap out of people if they ever actually think about it. The girls are in a bit of a strange mood tonight. So much so that not only am I down this end, but the cats have come to join me. Jessie's asleep under the table, and Socks is asleep behind the record player. In my entire life, I don't think I've ever been ID'd when buying alcohol. And now, I'm beginning to think it's just too late. Ah! Smurfs a movie. That explains why all the Smufet Porn suddenly appeared on DA.